It's almost vanished. Only 185 cotton gins remain in Texas, down from more than 4,300. This collapse has been so relentless that more than half of those gins closed in the past 25 years. Once a gin shuts, it never reopens. Behind these numbers is a rural economy bleeding out, where farmers pour money into every pound of cotton just to lose more. How did this backbone of Texas agriculture end up in irreversible decline? And can anything stop the death spiral before it erases communities forever? At the dawn of the 20th century, Texas stood as the unrivaled heart of American cotton. More than 4,300 cotton gins operated across the state, scattered from the Black Lebanon Prairie to the High Plains, anchoring small towns and fueling local economies. These gins were not just machines, they were community landmarks, running day and night through the harvest, their whistles echoing across fields as they processed the backbone of Texas agriculture. For generations, the rhythm of the cotton gin set the pace of rural life, drawing in farm families, merchants, and seasonal workers each fall. But over the course of a single lifetime, that network has all but disappeared. Today, just 185 cotton gins remain. The collapse is staggering. More than 4,000 gins have closed their doors since 1900. The decline has not been gentle or gradual. In the past 25 years alone, 50% of the remaining gins have vanished, wiped out by drought, consolidation, and the relentless math of fixed costs and shrinking margins. Industry records and local histories tell the same story. Towns that once boasted 2 or 3 gins now have none. The survivors are often the last businesses standing in communities hollowed out by farm losses and out-migration. The Texas High Plains, once dense with small gins every few miles, now sees farmers hauling cotton across county lines, sometimes over 100 miles, just to find an open press. Travis Mires, who has farmed these fields for 45 years and now leads the Plains cotton growers, put it bluntly in testimony at the Capitol. He said, "The Texas cotton industry is bleeding out. 50% of the cotton gins that were in operation in 1998 have closed their doors. Once the gin closes, it is closed for good." His words make the reality plain and urgent. This is not a cyclical downturn or a temporary contraction. The numbers leave little doubt. What has been lost is not coming back. The collapse of Texas's cotton gin network has happened in plain sight, one closure at a time, until only a fragile skeleton remains. The consequences for rural Texas are just beginning to unfold. Cotton farmers in Texas now face a reality where the numbers simply do not add up. According to Texas A&M AgriLife Extension 2025 budgets, the cost to produce a pound of cotton ranges from 68 to 97 cents, depending on whether the field is irrigated or dryland. The market price, however, sits at just 66 cents per pound. That means every pound harvested is sold at a loss before a single seed even goes in the ground. Across the state, the effects ripple outward. USDA figures show Texas cotton cash receipts have dropped 24% in 2024 alone. That is not just a blip, it is a collapse of revenue for the largest cotton-producing state in the country. The Texas Department of Agriculture estimates total agricultural losses at $3.4 billion this year, with 2/3 of that directly tied to drought and extreme heat. For a cotton gin, these figures are more than statistics. They are a death sentence. Gins rely on volume to survive. Their fixed costs, debt, insurance, maintenance, and utilities remain the same whether they process 1 million bales or none at all. When farmers operate at a loss, they scale back or abandon acres. In 2024, nearly 34% of Texas cotton acres were left unharvested. That means less cotton delivered to gins, less revenue to cover those unyielding expenses. There is no insurance policy for a gin's lost throughput. As the crop shrinks, the math becomes impossible. Even the most efficient gins, equipped with the latest machinery, cannot break even without a steady flow of cotton. When receipts drop and costs climb, the only option left is to close the doors, often for good. The system depends on volume, but the volume is vanishing. With each season in the red, the infrastructure that once anchored rural Texas slips further out of reach. 3 years of relentless drought have left Texas cotton fields scarred and empty. In 2022, nearly half, 49%, of the state's cotton acres were abandoned. The following years brought no relief, 33% in 2023 and 34% in 2024. For the gins, every acre left unharvested means one less bale to process, one less check to cover the bills that never stop coming. The fixed costs, debt service, insurance premiums, property taxes, utilities, remain stubbornly high whether a gin runs at full tilt or sits idle. With no federal crop insurance for gins, there is no safety net to catch them when drought wipes out the crop. Cody Besant, CEO of Plains Cotton Growers, puts it plainly. Once a cotton gin goes offline, it is very difficult, if not impossible, for it to come back up. The numbers tell the story. In 2023, Texas lost 7 more gins. This year, another 13 to 15 are expected to close for good. Each closure shrinks the network, forcing the survivors to stretch farther to gather enough cotton to stay afloat. Many gins try to hold on by merging or acquiring neighbors. Jerry Buttman, manager of Lubbock Cotton Growers, watched as his co-op joined forces with Lone Star Ag and bought Liberty Co-op in a bid to survive. Used to, the ginning business was easy to make money in. Now it is not. You better be watching every penny you spend if you want to be profitable in this business. But consolidation is not a cure. It is a last stand. With fewer gins, farmers must drive longer distances, raising their own costs and delaying payment. The system depends on volume, but the volume is vanishing. Every year of high abandonment tightens the noose, making it harder for even the largest, most efficient gins to break even. The infrastructure that once made Texas the capital of American cotton is now locked in a death spiral, each closure making the next more likely, and recovery all but impossible. Steve Olson remembers driving through Brownfield, watching empty storefronts and shuttered warehouses pass by. A friend from Dalhart said, "Man, these cotton towns are just drying up." The pain is not abstract. It is visible in every closed gin, every idle truck, every family that gives up after generations in the fields. In Lockney, a fourth-generation farmer and Texas Tech graduate lasted just 3 years before leaving the land for a dairy job. For many, the decision is not about legacy or pride. It is about survival. Warehouse operators like Eric Wanjura see the impact in real time. Storage capacity that once bustled with new bales now sits empty, yet the bills keep coming: rent, insurance, maintenance. There simply has not been enough volume to cover those costs. Labor is another casualty. Jordy Rowland at North Gin in Dimmitt scrambles to fill positions and is turning to the H-2A visa program as local workers disappear. Even if a strong crop returned, he worries there would not be enough trained hands left to run the machines. Lawmakers have tried to respond. House Bill 43 raised the cap on state-backed loan guarantees from $2 million to $5 million, opened interest rate reductions to producers of any age, and transformed the Young Farmer Grant into a broader agriculture grant program with a 10% match and a $500,000 ceiling. The fiscal note calls the new spending not significant. There is no dedicated disaster relief for gins or warehouses. The programs do not rebuild what is already gone. Jerry Harris from King Mesa Gin says he would guess half of those 185 gins are on the way out. The warning is clear. Without direct action, targeted support, infrastructure insurance, and real capital, Texas risks losing its cotton backbone for good. The collapse is not just numbers on a ledger. It is towns emptied, families uprooted, and a way of life slipping out of reach. The next decision in Austin and beyond will decide whether rural Texas has a future or becomes a memory. Today, Texas cotton farmers spend more to grow a crop than they earn to sell it, while vital infrastructure disappears for good. As another season looms, rural towns face a future built on vanishing foundations. The next closure is not just a number, it is a community erased. Share your thoughts below.